Yo, Robert.
Yo, what's shaking, AC?
What's going on? What are you doing, man?
Just hanging out, just enjoying the day.
Yeah,
what are you doing,
of course. Man? Yo, man, what's shaking? Hey, I have a question for you.
Okay, I might have an answer.
Well, it's your perspective, your kind of response to this. I have a thought, and I'm curious what you think.
Okay, let's do it.
Are you ready?
I was born ready. I was born naked and ready. Let's do this.
That again. Okay. So what do you think is when people get, like, you talk to your franchisees and they have all these ideas, and sometimes this happens with our clients that we work with, our franchisors, we brainstorm and come up with great ideas. And then you meet with them next week, do a check-in call, or 2 weeks later, and they didn't do any of them. I want to know what you think is going on there.
Oh boy, what a loaded question. Okay, I think that everyone has kind of like a different excuse or a different reason, which, by the way, we should have a totally different rant on the difference between excuses and reasons, because I think it's a very stark difference.
Okay, I'm making a note in my handy dandy notebook. Okay.
Well, I think one of the biggest things that prevents people from executing on a lot of these ideas that they might have is actually kind of one of the simplest things. It's just having a really, really poor schedule, or even better yet, no schedule. Hey, I'm going to work. Let's see what happens. Okay, 3 different phone calls came in. I got 6 emails, just answered those. One of those emails came in. Hey, somebody just messaged me on LinkedIn. I got to do that. Next thing you know, your time has gone. And so when you've got all of these ideas that have come in, you're always saying, well, I don't have any time to do that. I don't have any time to do that, And so if you schedule your time into blocks, say, this is my phone call time, this is my email time, this is when I'm doing work time, and this is my creativity time where I can do other stuff. And you don't let yourself be bogged down by answering emails or text messages every second, you'll find more time to do those things. I think that's one of the biggest reasons, not the only reason, because you still need to have drive and initiative and all that sort of stuff. But that's what I think slows a lot of people down from executing on their ideas. What do you think, Angela?
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, just backing up a little bit there, I just want to circle back on something you said. Okay. When it comes to the schedule, I think that's just such a key thing. And you can actually Google block scheduling. I think we've talked a little bit about this before because we talk about productivity sometimes. But I think, yeah, you're right. Like if you just go to work and wait to see what, going to work is going into work and seeing what happens, that is a very dangerous way to operate. So I agree.
Yeah.
It's not having goals. That actually really segues actually into what I see, and it's related, but a little bit different. I'm going to put it a little bit different. And that is that, you can have all these great ideas, myself included. I experienced this where you have all these great ideas and but you don't have the clarity of which one you should do. And so you don't do any of them. So it's like this overwhelm. Or you might start doing a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, a little bit of this, and you never really fully complete anything. So then you end up not getting the results and you just get frustrated. So what I have learned in many years of working with franchisees, I'm kind of bringing this back to the franchising, is that they can have all these great ideas, or you can help them, or you can even tell them ideas, which works the least because it's better if they come up with the ideas. But if they don't leave that meeting with clarity on, I think 1, 2 maximum things to focus on. People get way overwhelmed with focus. And I always say, say the known way of say we're brainstorming with the franchisee ideas for generating revenue, generating business. And in your business that the best thing for them to do is say partner with a charity, because you guys are really big on that, partner with a charity and do this event or something, right? You might know that as a franchisor, that's the best thing to do. But if they're never going to do that, I would stop. What's the expression, beating a dead horse? Oh, that's an awful expression. Is that the expression?
I think it is.
Beating a dead horse? Who says that? Anyway, but why do you keep doing it? It's not going to work. So instead, brainstorming with them what they might actually do. So I say this all the time that find the thing. I would rather them do something that's 50% as good and do it than not do anything, because at least they're doing 50%. I know that sounds terrible, but it's a step, right? And then from there they get results, and then they go, okay, I'll do more of that. Or eventually you can maybe get them doing the bigger event thing or whatever and help them. But I really see people expecting that just because they've left a franchisee with all these ideas, or whoever, employee, franchisee, anything, that they're going to just pick one and go do it. But it takes a lot of discipline and focus on that. What's the thing that works best? I see people in our mastermind groups, our play bigger groups, going around, well, should I do this or should I do that? And we stop and go, what has worked so far? And they go, this. And I'm like, go do more of that. Just do that. Don't worry that everybody else is doing all these other things. Now I'm really ranting, but just go do that one thing. So that is one of the big steps that I see people where they kind of overcome a hurdle that they weren't doing something that should be done when they had all these ideas. Are you playing with your light?
Yeah, my light just went on because I had an idea.
Oh, oh, that's good. Okay. I'm done. I'm done with my ideas. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that?
So basically what you're saying is that not only do you have to focus on smaller pieces rather than like some massive goal, but you're also saying focus on the stuff that you're actually going to do. So if there's something on your dreams list that you're probably never going to do because, it's not your personality or you have no desire to go down that pathway, then to take it off and you'll avoid the anxiety of constantly not being done.
Well, actually a perfect example that just came out now that I think about it in the AC Inc. exponential growth tip is when I first started working as an advisor for franchisors. Everyone's like, you have to blog, like blogging's the best. It's like someone saying, go networking. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll go. So I'll write blogs. What's a blog? And so I look at other people's blogs and I'm like, I don't even really, it's like, I don't know. So like, that's the whole analysis leads to paralysis, right? Like perfection is the enemy of done. So that was part of my problem. And I would be like, okay, I'm going to block time to do my blog, but even then I wasn't in the right headspace. Like for me, blogging and writing takes a lot of like focus and effort. So I discovered that I could just do like a small tip instead of a full blog. And that got me going. But then I took it a step further and I was like, I'm actually way more comfortable speaking and doing a video than I am writing. And just, I can put that on social media. I don't know how to do MailChimp and all that. Like this was back, and now I have someone that helps me with it. Thank goodness. Rockstar, amazing people helping me. But at the time, I was never going to become a blogger that wrote every week or like the amount that I should have done. And it was way better for me to put a video out a 4-minute video out, or back then it was about 4 minutes every 2 weeks, than to try to do like a weekly blog that I never would have actually done. How's that for a good analogy? Yeah. I think it was pretty damn good.
Back in the day, which was a Wednesday, by the way, back in the day, people loved blogs because it would help increase your SERPs, your search engine result pages. So you'd get higher ranked on Google. But, I think blogs have even sort of faded out because of this, because of what you're talking about. The only blogs that I find useful right now are released by a company, and they are released for the purpose of sharing a piece of news, right? Almost like a press release,
Yeah. And I mean, whatever the thing is, the vehicle, it's just not so much about that, but that it's like, find the thing that you are actually going to do that gets you excited. And I find when we take time to brainstorm with people and use the Jamboard that you taught me about, actually love it. It's so fun. But when you brainstorm like that, people are like, they get excited. And that's, so I just really believe that we're going at it all wrong when we're trying to tell franchisees, here's the thing that works. Some people are really good systems followers and it will work to do that. Like they would like, tell me what to do and they'll just do it. But if they're not doing it, that's what I would try. Is I would try checking, making sure their schedule's somewhat organized, like you talked about. And then also making sure that they have one thing.
Okay, so before we wrap up, you should probably note down on your rant idea notes, because I got another idea. We need to talk about, what do you do when you come up against that, where you actually have a golden nugget or a secret on how to make your franchisees successful, but it's not within their skill set and they don't want to do it and they shouldn't do it.
Noted.
Let's wrap it up. 1.
Go
be awesome.